Hey, it's Sam Jeppy, and this is the next generation of Vedic Astrology. Now, I know that's a bit of an audacious claim, but here's why I'm saying it. First of all, I want you to know that you're going to be hearing from 5 astrologers that you might not have heard of before, but you should know of them. You may have seen them on my YouTube channel before, or perhaps you've gotten a reading from them or seen them online doing their own presentations. But at this unique conference, I'm going to be speaking with them as they present their most cutting-edge material, and you're going to really love what we have for you. The astrologers are Alix Claman, Dr. Malini Iyer, Alexis Cox, Elise DeVilliers, and Casey Scott. Now, these astrologers have been through my certification programs before. They've also taken a lot of my courses, but more importantly, what they've done is they've developed a standard of excellence, not only in their approach to astrology, but in their approach to teaching, organizing information, and presenting it. One of the really unique things about this next generation of Vedic Astrology conference is it's also going to be me speaking with these great astrologers. And it's like a masterclass, it's like a great dialogue. As they're teaching the material to me, I'll be exploring and probing different aspects and angles to get the most out of what's being taught as well. Now, of course, it's not like they need me to help them or anything like that, but it's really like a dialogue between 2 astrologers that you're watching at a very deep level. So instead of it just being something that they're doing, you're also seeing them talk with me, and then I'll bring out deeper, parts of it, or maybe not deeper than what they've gone, but just another angle and another approach, because all of these astrologers have their own unique approach that's fantastic. It's very different than what I do, but to see 2 astrologers engaged this way is going to just bring out the sort of next level in all of the teachings. I do a lot of online teachings and whatnot, and especially now in this modern age, we're all very used to engaging and digesting information this way. This conference is going to be something where, again, from the convenience of your own home, you can get this amazing teachings. You have it archived forever. You can listen to it over and over again. It's really the superior way to learn in this modern age, and I also think that's going to be the future. One of the real benefits of that as well is I'm able to leverage this technology in order to give massive value. So for not a lot of money, you get enormous value and engagement and the ability to really reflect and go back and digest this material for years to come. So this online conference is going to take place in real time, March 19th, 20th, and 21st. But of course, if you can't attend in real time, you'll always have the archived videos to go back and watch as much as you like. So at the conference itself, there will be classes on finding your unique identity, learning to share that identity with a deep dive into relationships, discovering your psychic gifts by examining the lunar nodes, connecting to the living sky and navigating the pressures and maximizing the opportunities with the transits. Also, connecting to the sacred calendar and the monthly cycles. But like I said, you actually get more than 12 hours of classes live on March 19th through the 21st. So let me go over the conference itself. On day 1, we start with the Finding Your Unique Identity Through the Ascendant Lord with Alexis Cox. Now, that unique identity is shown by finding the Lugna, and then the Lugna Lord, or the Ascendant Lord, and then we're going to take a deep dive into that and also examine the things that can take you away from that unique identity. That's one of the most important things that we need to know in the astrology chart. Next, on day 1, we're going into relationships and the least integrated aspect of self by Dr. Malini Iyer. In that class, we're going to look at the conditional and unconditional love, how to fight fairly and compromise, how to manage our confidence and assertion in partnerships. Then in day 2, we start with Elise DeVilliers and the divine timing and transits. Now, this shows the shared karma as seen through the sky as the planets move, we're going to look at the Saturn transits, managing our stress and pressure, also the nodal axis transits and managing our obsessions and withdrawals. In the later session with Alix Claman, Beyond the Matrix, Your Psychic Gifts, we're going to talk about how to tap into your own psychic nature and how they can get confused, how to manage the obsessions that may come up as you're trying to unlock that hidden psychic potential. Also, the hidden side of the planets that the nodes bring forth. Now, when I say psychic potential, again, it can sound all woo-woo, but actually all of us possess this sort of extrasensory nature, and we're going to dive into that during that class. Then day 3, we have new moons, resolutions, and the divine personal cycle with Casey Scott. We're going to examine the 12 lunation cycles each year and how you can use that as your personal yearly almanac. Now, again, this also reveals the life lesson through the 12 astrology signs and 12 astrology houses. Then the second part of the third day, we're going to have a panel discussion on healing and remedies based on numerous modalities and astrological situations. You know, pretty much everyone on the faculty is a healer of a different modality. Myself is, I come more from a yoga background, but other people come from earth-centric shamanistic traditions, and we're going to discuss healing and all different ways of approaching our karma from a more healing perspective to wrap up, and there'll be a panel discussion on day 3. So in addition to the great presentations, you also have bonus classes that are available immediately. Now, the first is called Ayurveda and Vedic Astrology. It's a weekend course. This has never been offered before. I taught this in Arcata, California years ago. So on that weekend course, I taught all of the what's called Sankhya philosophy of Ayurveda and Vedic astrology, and really showed how you can learn about the nature of health, an Indian approach to health and healing from an astrological point of view using Ayurveda. So I talked about how spirit takes form through the 3 gunas and the sacred number 108 and the 5 elements and a whole lot more of these aspects of Sankhya philosophy. I talked about the evolutionary processes of the planets. I also talked about the 12 signs as seen through the gunas and the elements and the modalities. I also talked about the effect on healing through the Ayurvedic doshas. I also talked about the timing of our karma by looking at the transits in the sky and how they affect the onset of illness and healing. So the second bonus is called Living Sky, and it's an advanced transits course. Now, as you can imagine, this is really showing how to measure the planets as they move through the sky. It's very advanced class. It doesn't mean it's above the head of beginners. Analyze the transits of Saturn through the sky and the aspects Saturn makes as it transits into different houses. Also the planet Mars, Jupiter, the lunar nodes, how to do things like aspect stacking, how to literally, just sort of gauge an entire astrology reading based just on the transits. So this was a 12-hour seminar course. All of these, manuals and downloads and videos are there. Literally like a $240 value easily. This is the bonus class that you get access to right now. And the last bonus is Quantum Vedic Astrology. Now, this is a great course that I have taught, and this was a lecture that I did in 2015. It's a 3-hour lecture, and this really is one of the most unique things I've ever taught. It really takes the modern structures of neuroscience and quantum physics and brings them into the realm of Vedic astrology and the Vedic Indian principles. So I describe things like the 3 brains. You have a reptile, a human, and a monkey brain, a mammal brain. I show how the planets and the gunas and the forces and the elements all show how our brain is formed and analyzed through modern neuroscience. I also talk about things like cognitive biases, what's called the RAS, or the reticular activating system, which allows us to take our tendencies and our karma and then project it out into the world. I talk about quantum physics. So on the quantum level, we then show and the world shows itself to us based on what we're looking for. In quantum physics, I explain things like what's called the double slit experiment. I talk about things like quantum entanglement, the casino effect, and literally shows how we take the infinite possibilities of the moment and collapse them into the specific life and world and things that we're selecting and creating based on our mind. So it's a very unique class, and that was literally a 3-hour class, about a $60 value. So when you register for the next generation of Vedic Astrology conference, now you get all of those bonus classes, and then of course you're going to get the conference in March when we do it in real time, and you'll have access to those recordings indefinitely for the rest of your life. Top-notch teaching. And again, one of the qualities of the next generation of Vedic Astrology that I would like to see is getting these types of quality teachings in the hands of people in an affordable way, which is what I'm doing here. You can have access to all the bonus classes now, and then we'll see you in March for the fantastic presentations from these amazing astrologers that I'm blessed to be working with every day, and I'm sure that you're going to be really happy that you came across them as well. So go ahead and register, and we'll see you in March.